That is why there is destruction. I mean, just call it what it is. There is destruction in the economy for a large portion of.
So I have to keep it muted because I'm watching videos. I don't know, it's been like 15 years of 4th of July's happening and I haven't done anything. And, like, it seems like everybody's energy goes towards specific holidays and not for the rest of the year. Like, they don't put any thought towards anything. They're cordial, decent, everything on celebratory special days. It's, like, entirely ignorant because, like, just treat every day as a decent day. Well, I don't know what you said. I barely read the comment, but I'm just seeing a bunch of sleepy individuals complaining about why things are the way they are. Like, I'm trying to find some kind of Hail Mary, you know, home run pitch way of trying to earn enough money just to be able to make barely a difference on society. Maybe build a business when I'm stable. It's been 3 fucking years now, and I don't have a car still, and all that needed to be done was I needed a fucking shower. Are there pay showers everywhere yet? No. Nothing's gonna change. Everything's just gonna continue getting worse, and people are complaining and then not doing anything to actually fix the problem. It's stupid. I'm doing everything that I can with the limited amount of tools that I got. Like, every single moment of the day, I'm doing something. I'm researching something. I'm trying to make a trade. I'm trying to find a new project that I can maybe make money on. Get scammed, get scammed, get scammed, get scammed. The only way to actually make money nowadays, because of the way that the world is, because people are so fucking competitive and so selfish, is to just basically be in charge of absolutely anything that you get involved with. It's stupid. You have to screw over the little guy in order to get money. This whole system is fucking corrupt. Like, here's the thing is, I'm basically just looking into these coins. I'm looking at pump fund coins, and I saw the Black Bull. Before it went and ran up, it was like at 10,000% or something. It was only at like $100,000, $200,000 market cap. Obviously, like most of these coins that run, I was not in it at all. I haven't even, I didn't even buy in at all. But as I'm seeing this coin go up, in my head, I'm like, is this another Shiba Inu? But at the same time, me knowing how like the trading space is, Shiba Inu wasn't on a pump fund run. You know what I mean? It was like people heard about it. You had millions of people that were interested in the coin because it was a popular coin. The Black Bull, it was pumped on pump fund. Now it's got 100,000 people involved with it. And it's just like all dark money. There's just a bunch of dark money propping it up, and people have no idea. Eventually it's going to collapse, but only after the creators are like, they have all that money cleaned. As much money that went in that was dark, they have to pull out that much money and then they can dump the dark money. The dark money, they're not actually like able to cash that out because it's dark money. That's the whole point, is that they got the money dark and it just pumps. You know, they did like a tornado or whatever, and they were able to put the funds out there on an account that's basically anonymous now. And what they do is they use that dark money to go and pump clean money. So they'll take their paycheck, something legitimately linked to their actual name, who they are, and they'll put those funds into a coin, use dark money to pump up those funds. That's what seems to be the case, because nobody's really bullish about the token that they make. I'm constantly seeing them cash out, cash out, cash out, cash out. And I'm like, you know, the real support behind a coin is community, and that's really it, unless it's dark money. What I'm seeing most of the time is dark money being traded around. You know, I see really sketchy situations where it's like somebody puts in, and then another person puts in, then that last person pulls out, the second person that put in pulls out, and then that's the end of the coin. Talk about money laundering. That's basically what's going on. And then the creator also gets a pump. They also earn a revenue on that coin. But me looking at the crypto market and applying that to everything in real life, in stocks and business, everything that's going on that has to do with power, it's like that's what's going on. There's like a certain trend where they're just out to rob us, and it's not they against them, us, it's even us against us. The system is set up for us to rob us, to rob each other. It's fucked. This isn't capitalism anymore. This is, you know, somebody made a video and they said exactly what I've said for a long time, and I want to, you know, explain it again. There's so many businesses that are subsidized. There's so many situations that are subsidized right now. The people that are in power, you know, they're getting a lot of the stuff that they're building is subsidized. I don't know. It's going to collapse at some point. People think the system collapsed already. No, it didn't. It didn't collapse yet. It collapsed for some people. Some people are in a bad spot, but no, this hasn't collapsed yet. I'm watching a new token pump that's similar to Black Bull, but it's different. It's semen. The seed of potential. Go look it up. There's like currently 2,395 people. There was 2,500 people in it just recently. People have been pulling out of it. But its market cap, yeah, it just pumped up again. Like, its market cap is up a whole 25% right now. But I'm watching this token, and I've been looking at the transactions. I've been looking at the different coins that are similar to it being launched and not seeing anything. And then I'm looking into those market caps, and I'm looking into what's been put in there. I see one coin. Somebody made a coin. There was like 10 to 15 versions of it in a row. You see this often on the list. And if you look into the new token pairs, you'll see just 10, 15 of the same thing in a list. And then I see one that stands out from the rest. It's got a high market cap. It's got like 30K market cap or something, and only one purchase. $7,000 bought into a coin. So somebody launched the coin and threw $7,000 into it. That is a lot of money. But I'm looking at all these stats, and I'm looking at all this data. I'm collecting this data and piecing it all together. What it keeps screaming at me is exactly what I think it is. You basically have these pump groups where they'll boost the coin. Like you can pay to get your coin boosted in the chat, and you'll get a bunch of investors and stuff. And that boost money right there, that's clean money because it's coming out of your hands. And it comes out of your paycheck. You go boost a coin. Clean money goes into the person's hands that's doing the boost, and the cycle continues. And they make a whole lot more money, but their money actually in the coin never actually gets cashed out. You see what I mean? Like, what they did was they used dark money to pump it, as well as the community's dark money to pump clean money. And then they get a bunch of clean money too to get invested into it, and that's, you know, where they get the serious pump. That's where you get into hundreds of thousands of dollars in market cap. You get tens of thousands of dollars in liquidity that get dumped into it. But I'm looking at a token that, I mean, it would be freaking hilarious if it actually succeeded, but people are just playing around with it and dumping it. Likely because they've already got the pump out of it, and the people that ran the coin, they're just like, whatever. If they're not at a certain level, they kill the coin. It's stupid. It's like a purposeful kill, and that's not how you build. That's how you just steal. Like, if you buy into a token with the purpose of selling it immediately after it grows in value, like, that's just theft. That's why the boosts, like the people doing the boosts, they don't get, you know, they're not doing anything wrong. They get away with what they're getting away with because that's clean money. They're not actually involved with the pump on the pay on the books, you know, technically. And you can also gain money from putting liquidity in before the pump. And then as that coin trades up and down, you're collecting fees as long as it's within a certain range. You collect fees as it pumps up and down in between these ranges. So that's clean money too. So you don't even have to, like, you have to own some of the coin, obviously, to set liquidity, but you don't even have to, like, be pumping around or anything to actually earn on crypto. There's a lot of, like, stuff happening behind the scenes. Yeah, people are just dumping this coin, huh? I'm just spotting so many issues with, like, everything that's going on that just, I don't think there's a solution anymore. Like, what it seems to me is that there's people that are controlling everything so hard that if they want something to fail, they can make it fail. For me, if you don't see these problems yourself, it hasn't come around to bite you yet. Like, dude, I think this is just about me or something. Like, so coming from a selfish perspective, I'm looking at. So what happens when the stock market does crash, or even lose a third of its value, which is set to do it with this AI bubble about to pop? Yeah, get another 10%, 15% tacked onto what we're already fucking paying. If we go up another 20% in the cost of things, I don't think people are going to be able to survive it. Because the wages aren't going up. I was given an offer on DoorDash the other day. It was $2.65 for 7 miles. Going outside of the region almost. The wages are not going up. And then it went against my acceptance rating to have to decline it. Like, I'm not going all the way over there. I'm going to end up using a whole fucking charge to go all the way into this area just to, there's no stores in that spot. So I'd have to go travel another 7 miles back to a hotspot. That would waste, probably about half to 2/3 of my battery. It's just not worth it to go stay out there and try to, work off of 5 miles. I'd have to decline 3 orders. My acceptance rating would fall 3 points. It wouldn't be good. Destroy my fucking rating. That's in my limited situation. If I had a car, I wouldn't be running into these things. When I had a car and I was doing DoorDash, I was able to keep up with everything. The only problem is I didn't have a shower. Every other day I'd have to spend $50 to go take a fucking shower. It's so stupid. That's why I asked, my family, I'm like, hey, can I pay $20 to drop by and take a shower? Because I was paying $50 fucking dollars every time to go take a fucking shower. Like, my situation hasn't gotten any better. I might have this bike now, but that doesn't really change anything unless I have 2 batteries or 3 batteries where I can actually fucking go out there all day. Right now, I'm limited to like maybe 2 runs in a day. It's stupid. This isn't having the tools I need. This is just having bare minimum just to fucking buy cigarettes and fucking food. Not even that. Like, I'd pay my fucking phone bill. Great. I can't get anything done with the tools that I have. There's a lot of people stuck in this situation. That's why homeless people, they just... concerned about me, I would be concerned about the state of the planet. I'm a temperature gauge. The situation I'm in, at least I have a home to stay in. But remove the home. Remove, you know what I mean? Like, remove just the home itself. Look at the situation I'd be in. Multiply that. Prices going up, rent going up, produce going up in price if the stock market crashes. People are starting to run out of money. The rich people are running out of money. You have no idea what almost $1 trillion in stimulus does to the markets. That's what happened is people got like $1 trillion in stimulus. They were like, $1,400, what do I do with it? Let's throw it into the market. That $1,000 multiplied by how many millions of people in this country? There's hundreds of millions of people in this country. That's 100 million. There's hundreds of millions times $1,400. That got dumped into the stock market. That's what pumped the stock market. People who were already in the stock market pulled their profits. You got Warren Buffett pulling his profits. He's waiting for everything to collapse before he buys in again. You're looking at a stock market that can absolutely collapse. And if these companies end up feeling the pain any further than they already are, we're doomed. Trump can't fix this. It's going to take a localized effort. It's going to take people to actually work together. If everybody just lives in caves and only comes out for 4th of July, that's kind of an issue. We're just going out there only to interact with each other when we're not doing business, when we're not getting anything done. We're just like, yay, happy playtime. Like, I understand happy playtime, but right now there's the fucking state of the economy. People are like, oh no, gas is so expensive. People were just woe is me, wanting to take out, remove the person that supposedly caused this. They were so mad. You can fix this if you work together with your community. This isn't about me. This is about you guys. You guys are going to have more of you have more to lose. I don't have very much to lose. If I lost this TV that I have, if I lost that TV, that's not going to really bother me. Because I don't even use the thing. I can't use the thing. I don't have any, I don't have anything to play anything off of. I could play some music on it, but then it overheats my USB. I'm like, I can't plug an audio thing into it. It's, it's not that nice of a TV. It was free. It's free on the side of the road, so I grabbed it. But I'm seeing people's mentality on the road. How actions speak louder than words. I'm seeing people's actions. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm spotting people's actions because I'm on a bike. I see more people's driving habits than somebody that's actually driving in the vehicle. Because I have to pay attention to way more things than somebody driving the vehicle. You think you're skilled? Oh, I know how to drive. I know how to drive as well. And I've never caused a wreck in my life. After driving hundreds of thousands of miles professionally, doing deliveries, doing passenger rides, doing, so I actually have to pay attention to not just who's in front of me, but who's behind me. When you're driving in your vehicle, you don't pay attention to who's behind you. You only put your blinker on. You don't pay attention to what's behind you. I have to pay attention to what's behind me. These are usually issues that young people deal with. If you're not dealing with this issue yet, then you're living in a dreamland. You've got it really, really easy. That means you have a lot to lose. If you haven't had to ride a bike to and from work, 10 miles, you haven't lived yet. But I watch people's actions in the way that they drive right now, in the way that they trade, in the way that people launch projects, the way that people make videos. I'm observing humanity and I'm seeing how people act. I'm observing the comments, the little stupid comments you're making. Like somebody's bringing up transgenderism or something. What did I say before? If you say things that are inaccurate, that are incorrect, I'll boot you from the channel. I hope you've got that message before, but if you try to say things about me that may not be true, in this case, I don't know what you're trying to say, if it's something that you're trying to claim or something, but whatever your comments are, I'm observing those. I'm observing everything that I see. I'm observing everything that I see. I'm calculating upon everything that I see. And I see where things are going. And you guys are not ready for what's going to happen. I've positioned myself everywhere. No, you haven't positioned yourself mentally, because you're going to have a pure mind in order to get through the next stage. AI can recognize. AI is going to be the thing. I'm not the threat. AI is the threat. And I'm not the one that's ushering in AI. I'm a fucking broke person who has I have a DoorDash job as a fucking, that's what I make money on. I can make $20 in a day, $30 in a day, 35 max in most cases. Because I'm limited on tools. I'm not your threat. What I'm trying to tell you is that this is where things are going. Things are headed in this direction. People don't start figuring out how to work with each other and stop destroying each other, attacking each other. It's not going to end well for anyone. Especially the people that have a lot to lose. And what did I say before about survival? Learn how to survive before you have to survive, because you're going to want that extra time to be able to go forage for food and do other things. You're not going to have the time to go learn how to, do something in a survival situation. You're going to have to figure it out in a quick moment's notice and deal with whatever you have left. You know how to make a fish hook? What are you going to do? You're going to try to make like a net or something. You're going to do something like, you know what I mean, unconventional, something that's not going to actually work because you're not practiced in it. You have to prepare. That's how humans got past all these calamities. You had, earthquakes, meteors, you had polar shifts, you had all kinds of shit that happened. And we got through it because the people that survived are the ones that prepared. That's why Homo sapiens are Homo sapiens. You have the smart ones because we actually prepared. If you're not preparing now and you're not learning, then you're not ready. And if you don't see what the problem is, if you don't actually see the truth of the problem, then you're not prepared to defend against the actual enemy. You'll probably join the enemy, and then the enemy will fuck you. You don't even know that they're the enemy. You think that they're the friend. If you're not doing your research, then you don't know who your friend is. It's harder for humans to detect evil. It's easier for humans to detect kindness than AI. When comparing it to AI will be able to detect evil because it can detect a lie. If it detects that things don't add up, that logically, mathematically, this or that cannot actually be true, then it's able to spot evil. So I think AI is going to be like, right now it's the devil system, the internet, it's like the devil, but AI is going to be like the god, the thing that like fixes everything, but it's going to start off as like ultra controlling. And it's basically going to get everybody to leave the internet. Because imagine if you had a nanny over your shoulder at all times. You have to carry your device around, just like you have to carry your ID around when you're driving. You're going to have to carry a phone around for your identity, because your identity is going to be locked into your phone, to your internet data, and through these data centers. That's the future. Your privacy, it's already not there, but it's going to be transparently not there. You're going to know that it's not there because you're going to be able to see it. But I'm observing human behavior, and it's just like, I don't think there's any hope for us, because even the good people end up behaving badly because of what somebody who was behaving badly already did. So like I said earlier, I think in this stream or the last stream, if I'm being a jerk or if I'm being angry or something, it's because I heard it from somebody else. I don't have a hateful bone in my body to start with. Every bit of hate that's been driven through me is coming out. So you can thank some other asshole for being an asshole if you don't like what I have to say. No, I'm not trans. Somebody asked me if I'm trans. No, I'm a dude, bro. What I've said in a past live is that what I've said in a past live is that I believe the way that I developed was there's two different types of people. There's a male and there's a female. There's the masculine and then the feminine. No, I'm not into dudes either. There's the masculine and then there's the feminine. What's the difference? Feminine is like a web structure. It connects everything more logically in a way. It's like more compartmentalized properly. All right. This absolutely goes here. If that female has it programmed in their head that this is the case or that's the case, they have made that connection, and it's like it's sort of fragile. It's easy to break that connection, but they know where that connection is because they have it layered and compartmentalized properly. A male, it's more like a strong, like a railroad, as opposed to a stringy spider web that could snap. It's strong like a railroad, so it's hard to change a dude's mind because that's literally what their mind is. It's built as a strong steel, hardened steel railroad, and it can be intricate, but generally it's ugly. So that's, a male's brain is like dumb and ugly in most cases. What I have said before though is that you can have feminine aspects if your brain, somehow you got lucky and your brain was able to develop sort of like that in between. Yeah, you can have that in between the masculine and the feminine in a sense that you can have like a beautiful train track, right? So you have like that beautiful hardened steel train track. That's how I would have described my brain if I was in a better state right now. So that's what I've said in the past. But besides that, no, there's whatever you're describing is weird. But that's one way to look at the differences between males and females. My brain is like a hardened steel train track that's been compartmentalized properly because I tried to really put the truth where it belongs. So the way that I processed my brain and learned is I compartmentalized it as I went, instead of what a lot of other dudes do is they just charge forward. Like a fucking sperm, they just charge forward. You know what I mean? So it's like I actually thought about my decisions before I went. This is at 10 years old. I wanted to know everything about the planet, anything that happened anywhere, culture, existence. Wanted to know everything. So it was a dream to build my brain properly, and I think I lucked out. But that's as far as you can get when it comes to like feminine mentality in a male. The male is still a male. It's biologically a male. Even if you removed the testosterone, you still got the male. The male was originally that. Their brain was a hardened steel railroad. They're not going to change their fucking mind. So they do not belong in the women's restroom. Unless in the rare case they go into the family restroom, like that case where the dude was bringing in his two daughters, and it was a small restroom, and it was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a creep just going in there to, or just a scaredy cat going in there like, oh, I want to feel like I'm a female, I'm transgender. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're going to do that, that's weird, dude. Get the fuck out of there. You're bringing your daughters in there? Totally understandable. I'm sure many women, they might even leave the restroom for a moment in respect to the young children, the daughters that are in there. A mom needs to bring her son into the bathroom. She brings him into the male's bathroom. And she's just standing there like looking away, but she's in there just in case something bad happens to him. It happens. That's why America's a free country, is because we can just live life normally. If you're not fucking around, if you're not trying to do weird shit, then you should be allowed to do this or that. That's the type of tolerance that we used to have for transgenders being in the women's bathroom. But nowadays it's like people are so evil that you can't trust them. So somebody might just be doing that just to be weird. Especially with all these stories with like changing rooms, people taking videos of them and, you know, go in the bathroom stalls, people getting charged with this shit because it absolutely happened. And they found out because they posted this shit. Like there's a lot of weird shit that has happened. And yeah, we don't need dudes in the women's bathroom for any reason. Except for those rare occasions where, okay, you gotta... In how many years out of the dude's life is he going to have to deal with that, bringing his daughter to the restroom? Once they hit, like, you know, 6, 7, that's when they can go into the women's restroom, you know, on their own. You can guarantee that they know how to, you know, be protected while they're in that bathroom. But these kids, they were like 3 or 4. Like, they were too young to even, you know, like, have full sentences, I believe. I didn't read the rest of that comment. I read some of that. Keep it out of the public, though. I agree. Do what you want. Keep it out of the public, though. Yeah, to a degree, though. Like, I feel like there's a middle ground for everybody when it comes to this. It's like, do what you would like to do in your own kingdom, basically, outside of infringing upon another's civil rights. So I believe that civil rights should be applied from person to person rather than just the government. Like, right now, civil rights are applied based on the government cannot enforce against your rights. And so they cannot aid. Like, you would have to battle it up at the Supreme Court for them to rule that, you know, for your civil rights to have been protected in certain situations. In a lot of cases, because the localized places, they kind of infringe upon them consistently. But in my opinion, it should be law that person to person, you should not be infringing on another's civil rights. Simple as that. Do what you'd like to do, but unless you're, you know, murdering somebody or you're raping somebody, like, you know what I mean? The kid freaking, you know, he's calling out, hey, I'm being harmed. And so, yeah, that's when you step in, you do something about it because somebody's civil rights are being affected. And that would be the easy way to solve pretty much everything that's going on. Yeah. Keep it out of the public, too. And that's, you know, the whole transgender thing. It's really not even about the whole public thing. Like, I've heard that there was naked parades in the middle of cities. That's what I've heard. I've seen like blurred out videos of this stuff happening. People riding bikes and they were naked. That's not freedom of speech. Get the fuck out of the road. Arrest them. That's insane. What are you doing? There's a lot of weird shit that's been getting away with, that people are getting away with because, like, people haven't found that middle ground common sense point of view. Do what you like to do, as long as, you know, you don't bring it out in public, you don't affect me and my family, and you don't affect the civil rights of the people that you're in, you know, in that situation with. Don't harm them. But outside of the harm, you know, if you're just doing your thing, then you should be left alone. So here's the thing, a good example. If a parent is dealing with maybe a kid with ADHD, weed can actually be helpful. It was helpful for me because it would help me kind of just calm down, right? They would give me Adderall at school because I had the prescription for it. Eventually, I was like, I'm not taking this Adderall ever again. I went to the nurse's office. I was like, what do I have to do to get off this? You have to talk to the doctor. You talk to your parents. You do this, that. And I was like, what if I just don't take it? Well, then we have to send you the principal's office. I'm like, well, I'm just not going to take it. But weed was okay for me. You know, it was actually a lot better. It would actually calm me down. But in reality, I probably didn't even have actual ADHD. I probably had something else. Anyways, if my parents were to have administered, let me access weed, a completely harmful substance, rather than for anxiety, rather than putting somebody on Adderall, I think that's a win. And that's up to them, whether or not they're going to do that. So they're going to medicate them on something that's completely harmless. Like if they're giving them their kid meth or something, that's when you got to step in. But you know what I mean? Like you got to step at that point. You got to step in. But that's America's freedom. Do what you like to do on your own property, and as long as you're not harming people. That's why we have laws that, like in certain cases, I believe in Ohio, because I was looking up the laws, you're allowed to, if you have a 14-year-old, your daughter, your son, you want to overlook them while they take their first sips of a beer, then you're allowed to do that because, that's just preparation for the real world, just to know what things are. The parent is supposed to be allowed to raise their kid the way that they would like to raise them. And then the government only is supposed to be stepping in if there's actual atrocities. The government has been stepping in, especially where I grew up, Massachusetts, just for holes in genes. Oh, there's a hole in the knee of a gene after the genes have been used, and you've been hard at work doing stuff outside. Your genes have little holes in the knees of them, and you can get taken away from your parents. That's government overreach. That's what's been happening. The government needs to get the fuck out of people's lives. That's insane, dude. Imagine being taken away from your parents because you had ripped holes in your genes, and you're just like, hey, but that's cool. So nowadays you get genes that have the holes ripped in them as a fashion statement. But that's the kind of shit that was happening, and the government just basically reached their fucking tentacle into everything, and that's how we got to here, where we have people that hate the Republicans because they feel like it's the Republicans that did that because the Republicans were in charge at that time. They were like, oh, we're an authority type people. The Democrats have been like, oh, we're gonna be the mom or dad that says yes all the time. Like that's what they acted like, but they never actually said yes to Americans. They said yes to invaders. So that's the freaking psychological operation that they played against us, and they divided us. Nobody gives a fuck about how you're gonna do your own thing in your own land. You should be allowed to, if you have pure metals, you should be allowed to make an ingot out of metal and then sell it if you'd like, without the government getting involved. Why are you taxing me on fucking selling something that's supposed to be currency? What a joke. You have to have a license. You have a permit or something to be able to sell ingots. Jesus. But as I'm looking at this, like the whole market of everything, I'm actually going to leave this app. I'm like looking at myself now. Second. All right. Now I'm outside of the app. I can do other things on my phone. But people are getting together today. How many of them that are broke are building a business relationship right now? Not very many people. How many really rich people right now are building business relationships with each other? Always. They're always doing that. That's the difference between the rich and the poor. The rich are actually working together and actually getting things done. The poor are like, fuck you, man. Yeah, fuck you too. That's how the rich stay rich. We would be able to spot opportunities, and the thing is that we used to actually help each other get involved with success with each other. Nowadays, people don't want to do that. People are like, fuck that, man. I don't like the other person, so I'm not going to help them get anywhere. That's ridiculous. That's the mentality that's destructive. The mentality that you should have in regards to competence, the mentality that you should have is to do better than the other person. Not to get in the way of the other person, to do better than the other person. That's true competence. That's true strong person, strong human being. You want to do it better, and you don't want to get in the way of the other person ever, because you want to see them do good too. There shouldn't be anything against seeing the other person do good. When I'm talking about the holiday and stuff, oh, people are focused on, fun and not boring, doomy stuff. I'm not saying don't celebrate. I'm not saying, hey, don't have a reason to smile. But what I am saying is that people seem to be very distracted by hype, and they just can't see the big picture. We're broke because we're not working together. We could all have a great lifestyle. Look at it. Look at what America used to be. Everybody was great lifestyle. Everybody. Compared to what once was. Everybody had a great lifestyle, and they were able to achieve that because they worked together. Everybody was a part of the economy. Everybody was a cog in that big machine. We can get to that again. So you start thinking togetherness. You see a hype, go follow it, go chase it, but don't kill the hype. Unless you see an atrocity, unless you see people jumping, like there's bad hype where you see people jumping off the fucking edge of a cliff like Freak on a Leash. That's when you have to like step in and be like, bro, you're about to step off that ledge. You might want to figure that out. And then, there's the does no harm. Let's all build together. Just always jump on that train. If you're going to jump on the train, be genuine. Give you another example of where that's gone wrong. Let's see. Well, first of all, oh sweet, my phone's like fully charged. I can take that off of there. So this coin used to have 5,500 people involved with it. Now it's only got 900 or 950 less. And that's Farmtown. That's the farm token. We've lost 1,000 interested individuals. But that was on a game that's actually been developed properly. Holy shit, dude. Okay, semen is going into the air. That's insane, dude. Is it going for another huge pump? Was that bottom? That was all at once, dude. If people want to get involved with this token, go check it out on Solana. It's semen, the seed of potential. I was watching it pump yesterday. The shit, like, right now, it's at 5,700% up from its original on July 4th, I guess. No, June 29th, right? And so 5 days later, we're looking at 122,000 market cap, 122,000 market cap, and we have 2,394 holders. I don't see why this token doesn't actually shoot up to the moon, because it's like Ansem number 2. If anybody's been watching The Black Bull, you know Ansem. This is like Ansem 2. And I'm just surprised that this hasn't gone 1,000,000% yet. This is like the white Ansem. They took the dude's head and they put it on the end of a sperm. So fucking goofy. but it was just down to 90,000 market cap. Now it's up to 120. So we've been getting some pretty hard pulls, hard pumps. Like this morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, I was watching this thing pump. I couldn't sleep because of this token. It was going up and up and up, and I'm down like 80% of where I was at because I went to sleep on it. So I slept on it. I left the value in it. I was like, maybe we'll see another answer. Maybe it'll go up to $50 million market cap. You never know. But it could do that from here, and I still have the same amount of tokens that I had last night. So it's like I've seen it pump, dump, and then it's going up again. It's holding. It's up 13% in the last hour. But it's down 75% in the last day. Like, I'll roll numbers. I got in at like 3.6. It was right at the very, very low. Like 3.5, 3.6. And then it pumped. Where did it hit? I think I sold it like 4. So when it was like at 4.0, that's when I sold. It kept hovering there. So it like psyched me out. And basically it went down. I bought it at, it was probably coming down to like 4.0 again after hitting a peak. All right, we got 4.67. It hit a peak, and then it came back down, and I didn't buy in until it went back down. I was like, it has to go down, And then it hit 3.9. I bought it at 4.0, hit 3.9, and then it was like, boom, it starts shooting up. I sold at 4.6, 4.7, and then it like, all right, so that was before the parabolic rise. It jumped like fucking 100% in just like, you know, or like probably 1/3, 30% in just seconds. But I sold at 5.0, 5.1. And then the thing jumped, it went back down. People ate that profit. They were like, you know, dumped that for a minute. And then the thing, like I had already sold out, but it didn't dump enough. I wanted to hit it at 4.4, right? And it wouldn't go down. So I was like, what do I do? And then I bought it like 5.2, and the thing went up, and it went back down to freaking like 5.1. And then I sold. So then I was like level again. I was like, okay, I broke even because I spent, you know, getting into it and going out. So I had broke even. And then I was waiting for the token to go down. So then the token did go down, and it hit like 4.4 or something. That's what I was trying to get it at. And it was like 4.55. Pumped again. I thought it was going to go ahead and do another one of those parabolic pumps. Nope. It only went up to 5.0. And so the thing dropped after that. It went to 4.4. And that's when I was like, maybe this is the bottom, maybe it's not. And basically I made a few sells. And then I tried to buy in at the right price, but it was like higher. And then and then I was like, all right, you know what? I don't feel right about this. It was a little bit too high. I sold. And then it went boom. It hit its all-time high like for like in the last like a couple of days. And so I missed out on that pump. And as it came down, I tried to buy and wait for that next pump again. It didn't come. It went rug. So somewhere around, yeah, it was like 4.0, maybe even 3.6. That's when I bought in, thinking that maybe it'll come back up again, and then it almost lost an entire zero. But now it's coming back up again. Whoa. Now it's up 20%. The thing's fucking shooting up into the moon right now. Okay. Are we getting more buyers? Like more people in on it? More holders? No. That's what's confusing me, is that the amount of holders is dropping, but the price is going up. So is the price absolutely being manipulated? Probably. And that volume that's going in right now might dip completely. So right now would be a good time to sell. Wait for that drop, that monumental drop. But then again, there's trend. So if it trends up and it keeps trending up, then we might see a doubling of the entire value. I just saw 3 more people get in. So 3 people just got in. It's trending upwards. The only problem with this token is I've been seeing the actual owner, or at least one of the big holders, starting to sell. And he was also selling a lot, he or she. You know what? I'm gonna take profit on $1. I'm just gonna take $1 out. If this fucking thing would load. Oh my god, what is wrong with this thing, dude? I've been sitting here for 10 seconds, 15 seconds now. And if the price drops again, then I'll get back in for cheaper, but I'm dealing with like $1 buy-in, $1 sell. The reason why is because if the amount of holders is dropping and the top 10 holders have 31.55%, last night it was 20%, that means they're manipulating that price. They're the ones that are holding that price. They're bound to sell it again. The higher the percentage that's held by the top 10, the more risky that token is. That coupled with the amount of holders dropping, I just saw 2 people dip out. I saw 3 people get in, 2 people dip out after. If that's a person that just got in, that does change things a little bit, but nope, nothing's changed. So they put a perpetual market on Phantom for, what was it? Telegram, the Telegram token? They now call it. Two more people just got in, but for cheap. So low orders, low order amounts, but still see some volume going in. Right now it's up 23% in the last hour. Drop. I want it to drop right now so I can buy in back in again. I think it'll hit 100 market cap, 100k market cap, and then that's when I want to get back in. Imagine these pops being actual like bombs going off and people, running and hiding, and that's what's running through my head that I think is coming. Kind of troubling. That thing's got support, but it's got to come back down again. I'm not getting it at a high. I know better. Okay, good. See the thing flopping a little bit. But there's new people getting in. There's more people holding. There's new holders. Assholes. I want whoever the hell just bought in to just dump it. I'm gonna buy it again. There we go. It's going down, it's going down. Dump. I might jump in now. Got back in with 500 more tokens. So I accumulated more tokens. I had more tokens to begin with. Like I had like 6,000 more tokens, so I would have had more to play with right now, but I'd be sad if it dumped again. Oh, it's dumping. Might lose another 50 cents. I'm not using a trading bot, other people are. See, the thing about Farmtown, it's not going to even be successful unless they add